Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, y'all? Today we got a special guest by the name of Doug from Philly, and he want to share about what he's going through right now, or what he was going through. So, Doug, you got the flow.
I appreciate you for allowing me to talk on here. You know, I just wanted to get this out because it's been haunting me for years, and I just want to put this out there. And if any other men that's going through this, hopefully that'll prompt you to come out or to hopefully encourage you as well. So right now I'm on my third marriage, but I got married 2004, my first marriage, 2004, and everything was lovely in the beginning. And everything was fine, and I thought that this is going to be the perfect marriage for me, because I went years doubting or even thought I was going to get married. So, I thought I found the right one, and I actually met her at my old church in Philly, and we went from there. But in 2006, we had got our first separation because she started hanging around with girls that had broken relationships, who was in the streets, and encourage her to separate from me because I wasn't giving her what she needed as financially. And at that time I was working part-time at a Home Depot, and I wasn't able to give all that she needed for her trips and stuff, but I was working on it. So she came home and out of the blue after she said she went on a trip. But later on, I'm gonna let you guys know that it actually wasn't a trip with a girl, but we get to that later. So she came home from that weekend trip, and she just came out the blue and wanted to separate, and it kind of put me for a shot because I didn't know. I was trying to figure out, like, what did I do? What did I say? What's going on? And she really couldn't give me an adequate explanation why. So we went on. We didn't argue, but we had an aggressive debate about it. So under my nose, she was looking for a house, and I didn't know. So she went and looked for a house, and then she came back like 3 weeks later and said I had 1 week until I had to leave the apartment. Now I had no car. I didn't have nowhere to go. So that put me in a mood to try to hurry up and get something. So I called one of my homies from Philly, because right now I'm from Philly, but I'm currently residing in New Jersey.
Hey,
so
wait. Let me ask you a question. So, all right. So did y'all break up or anything when she said, "Hey, you got 1 week to find you a new place"? Did y'all break up?
We were separated.
Oh,
we were separated. And like I said, I don't know why we were separated, but she wanted to separate. And somebody put her up into doing that. And for what reason? Until this day, I don't know what reason was that for. But later on, once I get to the end, it all comes into play from there until happening at the end of why she did that.
Okay.
So I called my friend. At that time, we was in Delaware. We moved to Delaware because we got married in Philly. So I was in Delaware. So I called my friend. His name was Vic. And he picked me up. He took me down to Pottstown, PA, which is like an hour and a half from Delaware. And I went and got a car.
Yeah.
So I got the car, and I came back, and I put all my stuff in the car. And when she seen that I was leaving, because she thought that I was going to stay in Delaware, but she seen I was going to leave in Philly. That's when she begged me to stay. She wanted me to go home. She wanted me to move in. And still, she didn't tell me why she wanted to separate. So I gave it another chance. I moved back in, and at this time, we moved in Newark, Delaware. We moved in Newark, Delaware, and everything was cool for 2 years. One day we was talking. She said we need the biggest place because we had two daughters. I had a daughter by and 2 daughters. So we wanted the biggest place. So she wanted to move to Smyrna, Delaware. So once we moved to Smyrna, Delaware, this one, everything started going downhill. So we moved to Smyrna, got a brand new house. I moved up there. She was excited. Everything was cool. I was like, all right. I got promoted at my job. I became the operation manager. Started making more money. So I thought everything was cool. So I got introduced to her cousin, her family, because 90% of her family was in Delaware.
Mm.
So I got introduced to her family. Met them all at they had a family dinner. Matter of fact, it was Thanksgiving, and that's when I met everybody.
Okay.
Her closest cousin was there, and she introduced because her cousin lived right directly across the street from us at the time. So we met up. She told her we was moving to Smyrna. When I saw the house, got approved for it. Didn't think I was, so we got approved for it, and we started preparing to move. He gets up there. Like I said before, everything was cool. We was excited. Everything was going fine. It was like, everything was routine. So then I met her cousin, met with this guy, and she brought him in. She upgraded him. He was on the low end. I want to put a bad name on him, but he was really low. So she upgraded him, got him a job. He started doing construction, started making really good money. And he started coming over my house on the weekend. We started watching games and just talking. So we had a conversation of how we can get the teenagers off the street. So I turned my basement into like a mini boxing gym. And he was going to tag with me. So I do boxing and he teach the martial arts part of it. So I have a cousin that lived up there. He was a young guy. He was at the time, he was 16. And he came over and started training with us. So he started noticing things that was going on, but I didn't pay no mind because I would be a little naive. I didn't, because once I'm with you, if I'm married, I figure I could trust you, and I shouldn't have I could trust you, so I shouldn't have no any indication that you'll be doing anything. So I didn't believe it. He kept telling me. So now I worked overnight. So I work overnight at my job, 11 to 7. So I used to leave the house about 10 to 15 because it takes me almost close to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to get to work. So my cousin Mike had a girlfriend that stays near me in Smyrna, like on the next area, like 10 minutes from it. He used to walk from her house, and he had to go past my house to get to his house. And he would see him come up there late at night, about 12 midnight. When he's coming from his construction job. So the first time he called me, and I was like, well, maybe, me being stupid and naive. I said, maybe he's just, checking, because I remember I called him up to look at his family. I said, maybe he was checking on them because, I'm at work. He called me. He said, now he over again. So then I said, all right, so let me call him. I said, yo, man, what are you doing at my crib? He said, I'm just dropping something off to your stepson Marcus, because he wanted to do martial arts, so I was dropping off some equipment. So I said, all right, so I let this slide. Then it started happening again and again. This time it was later and later, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So then I asked him, I said, did your wife know you up here? She said, oh yeah. I told her I had to stay late overnight at the job because he had to watch the house that he's working on. Then it started making, I'm like, hold up, that don't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that weekend we were on the basement training, and I'm paying attention to the interaction on the side with him and my wife, and they talking secretly, but when I go over there, they kind of disperse. So my cousin Mike was like, Aaron, something's going on, I'm telling you. And I said, you know what, I think I got a feeling, but I didn't want to believe it. Because I didn't think he would do anything like that. This has been like 2 years in. Now we close his kids, playing with my kids, we hanging out, we all going to the movies, we working out together. I'm going on construction work jobs with him. We like got close. I went to his wife's event, he cut the mines and stuff like that. So the first interaction that they had is when I had to work, and they all went to King's Dominion in Virginia. I don't know if you know what King's Dominion is. It's the amusement park in Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Okay.
Yeah.
They took these pictures. So my cousin Mike, because he went with him, because his mom and his family went. He said, "Yo, Aaron, look at this." So he showed me a picture. And the picture was, he was standing behind her, like holding her from behind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on with that? So he came and I confronted my wife very gently because I didn't want to assume. So she like, "Oh no, because there wasn't enough space, he was just hugging me." So I'm sitting in the car, I'm thinking like, and he said, my cousin like, "Aaron, man, he said, "Hey, Aaron, come on, man, this don't look right."
No, it
so
don't.
All right.
It don't look right.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So I'm at work, I'm thinking. And I said, all right, how can I approach it? Because I don't want to assume, I don't want to start. So later on, I say, you know what, Mike? My cousin name is Mike. If he was on here, he can verify all this.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Let's act like we had some beef with each other. Let's act like we ain't speaking and see what information you get out of him. He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm at work, and he this is like a week later, so he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
So he messaged him on Facebook. So he was like, "Yeah, man, Aaron, man, I can't stand." I mean, he's selling it good. So he's like, "I gotta tell you something." He said, "I've been kicking it with his wife for 18 months." And he's like, "You've been messing with that man's wife for that long?" He said, what's going on? He said, you can't tell him. So he's like, "I won't say nothing. What's going on?" He said, "I can't stand him anyway." Mm-hmm. So he said, "All right, well, we've been going out." So he told me the first time they had sexual intercourse is when they went to the Hilton Hotel in King of Prussia, PA, right? Yeah. But the first picture he did send him is when they was in New York on a ferry, and he was sitting on her lap and they were smiling. He sent him that picture. He sent him a picture of them at the hotel. He sent him, I got the audio of them arguing because they went to Miami for the weekend. Now, remember I told y'all that trip? Yeah. That wasn't a trip with her girlfriend. That was a trip he went with her, and she lied to me and said it was her girlfriend. Mm. So I heard the audio of them arguing and said, I don't know if I can cuss from here, but yeah, go ahead. He said, "Well, you gonna leave me and go and fly back to Delaware, and you gonna come fuck me and leave me for this B, like that." So he left her down there to fly back to Delaware and get his wife, which is her cousin, and they fly to Paris. Yeah, to spend the weekend. So she texted him. I even got the text report. Now, at this point, I had a friend that I knew that works in the police department that he was on the verge of retirement. So I asked him if he could run her phone records for me to see, because I had enough money to pay for a private investigator. That was too expensive. Yeah. So he did it to me as a favor. So he showed me all the texts that was going between both of them. And he was able to retract voice messages that she was actually planning on. The whole thing was a plan. She wanted to try to divorce me to get with him, and she wanted to try to kind of make it seem like my two daughters were his kids, so if that makes sense. That was the whole plan I seen in the thing.
What? So, wait. What, they was going to try to kill you or something?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what she did. This I'm going to tell you it's deep.
Okay.
One day, because she don't know what I was doing behind the scenes. One day she made some spaghetti at the crib. And I like a lot of Parmesan cheese on my spaghetti, right? But I usually put it on myself. So that's the first thing I noticed. So she made some spaghetti and she just put some Parmesan cheese on it, what I thought it was. So I'm sitting at the kitchen and it smelled funny because it started blending in with the sauce. So what I did was I took some of it and put it in a baggie, and I took it to my cop buddy, and he examined it. It was rat poison.
Dang. Wow.
Rat poison. He asked me, "Do you want to press charge?" I said, No. I said, this I'm gonna use all this. If it comes out that she's messing with, well, I want to get all this together and I was going to use it in court. So I didn't eat it, and I guess she got disappointed. And she tried to start an argument. We started arguing and stuff like that. Cause my wife don't eat my food. You know, you usually eat it. You know, I just didn't want to eat it. I didn't trust anything that she.
I would have told her to eat it. You should have told her to eat it.
I should have.
Yeah.
I ate my own food. I started going to get my own grub. You know, so make my own food.
Yeah.
So I like back when I was at work when I got all these messages. I was, because at nighttime I have a staff meeting with my crew. I had 20 people on my night crew. And I had 4 guys that were my senior guys, and the 4 older guys, they were all retired. You know, I mean, not once retired, but they was all ex-gangsters. You know, they was in the streets. One was from Oscar, from Virginia. I had a dude named Nate. He's from Camden, New Jersey. Yeah. You know, no guys. We was all cool. So my one guy, Oscar, because he went through the similar thing with his wife. You know, he found his wife cheating, so me and him talked in the back and receiving. I said, "Yo, Oscar, man, I got something to tell you, man. I need some advice." Now, at the time, I was like 30, 29, 30. I'm 50 now. He was a little older than me, so I showed him what I had, and he just took back. He's like, "Yo, man." He was like, "What you gonna do?" Yeah. So my hand was shaking. My hand started shaking. I'm like on the verge of ready to snap. So I had to calm myself down. So I looked at, we both sat in the office and looked and received and looked at all the messages. We heard the voicemail, we heard everything. I had everything lined up. So I called my brother up. My brother just got out of jail. He just did a year in Pittsburgh because he got some trouble in Pittsburgh, so he got out. Yeah. So I'm talking to him. And I told him, and my brother's like straight in the street. He's like, "Man, I will go in there. I said, "I'll allow both of them." Man, he said, and he put this in my head. I'm already emotional, frustrated, angry. I got all this emotions going on. And the worst video that I've seen that this guy sent to my cousin is a video of them actually having sex. Wow. Wow. Who? To swallow, man.
Who? Attention for all my book readers out there that can appreciate a good read. Make sure you check out this phenomenal read called Long-Winded. It's action-packed and full of mystery and twists and turns. To get your copy, make sure you click on the link that's pinned at the top of the comment section. Contact me for promotions. Who was recording the video? Did they have it like on a nightstand? Did she know they was being recorded?
She didn't know, but his reason I don't want to get a little ahead of myself, but his reason it was because, all right, let me put a quarter right there and tell you why he did that. So before, like 2-3 years into the marriage, she was accused. Now, I didn't believe this, but it came out because all were tired. She was accused of having sex with her own cousin. And it was rumored at the time, but then once all this came out, it kind of made sense. So when he found that out, he wanted to take a videotape for a video of them having sex. So if he get out, there's a rumor, or she try to lie, say she raped him. He wanted to have video and said it was, so he said it was consensual.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why he did that. But he videotaped everything. Even I seen when they went and got the house together, they tried to get a house together. And King of Pressure, he videotaped the whole process. They were going to get a house together. He signed the lease. He wanted to move in.
You said he was married?
He was married to her cousin, her closest cousin. She didn't know about this at the time.
Oh.
So once I got the phone, my mom got on the phone and she was crying, she was upset, and that made me a little emotional because my mom knew how I get, because I had a bad temper. I had a very, very bad temper. Yeah. And I was snapping the drop of a dime, and then when I get in that mood, it's hard to calm me down because I get enraged, and it takes a lot because I got into a fight because somebody had disrespected my mother, and a guy named John, and me and him got into a fight right in the middle of the street, and I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So the cops had to tase me to get off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't feel it because I was in so much enraged. That adrenaline was pumping.
Right.
And I had to get help for that because that would have led me going to jail or killing somebody.
So what happened? So did you ever confront her and him?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to get to that because when this is all going on, her, my wife at the time, and her cousin didn't know nothing. And this was late at night. This was like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So everybody asleep at the time. So once I got the phone with my mom, I started storming to the door. And my friend Oscar, now Oscar was huge. This dude was like 6'3", big dude, man. I mean, and he grabbed me and he couldn't, and then so he grabbed me and I was dragging him. So two of the other guys was holding me back. Like, no, man, come on, man, it ain't worth it. I knew where he lived at.
Yeah.
So they got me, they had to get me all the way back to the break room, and one dude stood by the door and they were just trying to calm me down. So I calmed down a little bit. I got on the phone and the first person I called was her sister. I told her sister what happened. She jumped out of the bed like, you fucking kidding me? And she said, I can't believe it. So she started getting upset. She told her husband. Now that's another story. That story is crazy. I'll tell you about that later. Yeah. But anyway, she told her husband. And then she said, do Carlina know? I said, no, she don't know. And she was like, oh my God. She said, how am I going to tell her this? So I said, I will call her. So I called her up. And I ain't want to wake her up. It was 2:20, and she got to get the kids off of school. So I called. I had to tell her. So I asked her, where you at? She said, I'm upstairs. He's downstairs because, he was abusive to her. So she was kind of scared of him.
Yeah. So
I told her to go somewhere, and I don't want you to react. And she couldn't hold it in. When she started crying, that made me even more angry. Because remember, back then, I said she really helped this guy get established.
Yeah.
And she was very loyal to him. I mean, she did everything for this dude, and he did her like that. And me, I was raised to be loyal. I was loyal. I grew up I would say grew up in the church, but I was raised kind of in the streets, so I hung around a lot of old heads. But to get my life together, I had to go to church. My uncle just got out of jail for doing 15 years in Greaterford, Pennsylvania. So he came out, and he took me to church with him. So I started hanging around, older guys, who mentored me because my dad left me when I was 8, so I had no male figure. So that's how I turned to the streets. And I'm glad he derailed me from going down that path because now, I started going to church. I started getting involved. So I started learning how to be a man, how to treat a woman. So I try to implement that in the marriage then. So when she found out that morning, it was about 7 a.m. Now, me and my wife at the time had a routine. She would leave out the house like 7:05, and at the time I'll be on my way. So we kind of like cross paths. So I get in the house. The kids would be in the house for about 10 minutes alone, but they be still asleep. So, and plus I have my neighbors. They always look out. So she get the phone. She told me her daddy when she's doing like normal, and I was quiet. Then I asked her. I said, "What's going on when you're a homeboy?" She was like, "What you talking about?" So I told her. And she got quiet. She didn't know what to say. The first thing she said, well, how you know it was me? I went off. She made me feel like an idiot. I had pictures, videos, everything.
Yeah.
She tried to switch the thing on me and told me if I don't stop getting loud with her, she was going to call the police and say that I threatened her. I didn't care at the time. I said, I don't give a shit, bitch. She called the police. So she hung up. I'm home. I'm speaking home because I said, okay, I got to get these kids to school. I don't want to be home by myself. Something happens, so I get to school. At the time, my daughter was like 1 year old and 1 year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to get her to school. And her stepkids were there too. But that's another story I went through, the stuff I went through with them. But anyway, so I had to get them all to school. Once they got out of school, I went upstairs, went in my lockbox, got my 45 out, loaded up. I'm pacing back and forth in the house. I got all this stuff going through my head. My brother said, I seen the videos, and it just rehashing in my mind. I'm getting angrier and angrier to the point my whole body started getting hot. My hands start shaking, my head sweating, tears coming to my eyes. I'm ready to stop. I'm thinking she came in that door at that moment, I probably lived the whole clip in it. About an hour later, not an hour later, one of the deacons called from my church, invited me to come to a men's fellowship, men's breakfast. And when he heard my voice, you know, I guess the discernment kicked in. He asked me what was going on, and I told him. He immediately started praying, and and that calmed me down. I put the gun down, I put it away, and I started talking to him, and he didn't know what to say. He said, "Aaron, but I need you to come over here with me and let's talk." And I didn't want to come because I was so frustrated. So late on that night, she usually come home around 6 or 7 o'clock, and usually that's the time I start getting myself together, go to work. But I parked my car around the corner, so she thought I wasn't there. When she came in the crib, she was right there, and I closed the door, and I sat down, and I asked her, I said, all I want to know is why.
Did you have the gun out? Did you have the gun out?
No. I had it upstairs.
Okay.
Locked up. Yeah, locked up. I asked her, she said, all I want to know is why. And she said, what you talking about? So I pulled out the iPad, and I showed her, went to my email, and I showed her all the pictures. I showed her, and she said, that's not me. I grabbed, man, you could say I'm wrong for this. You could tell me. I grabbed her by her neck and made her put her face right to the iPad. I said, you mean to tell me this ain't you with your legs in the air? Then she started crying. So it wasn't about that. I ain't had no feelings about money. I said, y'all was doing this for 18 months. That's a relationship.
Wait. What did she say why she stepped out on you was cheating for 1 year and 6 months? Did she say why?
She said because of money. She said because, now it goes all the way back. When we was at our aunt's house for that Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody was in the, around a circle talking about, they took their wives or husbands to this trip. They took them to that trip. And she didn't know that I was working with the travel agency to take us, because I've never been anywhere out of the country.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think, yes, I did. One time I went on church retreat, leadership retreat. We went to Canada, Niagara Falls with the church. Now she was pregnant at the time, but we went there. That's the only place I've been, but that was with the church. So I was planning on taking her to Miami. We gonna go there, for the week. So I was working with a travel agent for that, but she didn't know. So that's what she claimed is why, because he bought all the stuff she needed, like Coach bags, took her on trips, paid all her bills. When the iPhones first came out, I forgot what he bought her and all the kids iPhones. And she tried.
Wait, time out. Why did you allow another man to buy your family things?
I didn't even know. She lied about it. She said she was getting them from the job or her friends, or it was gifts. I didn't know until when this came out, until his wife went to all his stuff and found receipts of him going to Miami. She found when he bought her the Coach bags, she found receipts that he paid all his everything. She found everything.
Yeah.
That's when I knew that all that stuff came from him.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she found all that. So she went from being scared to being enraged. So like I mentioned that when I first found out, I did get my cousins and my brothers involved to try to come up there and catch him, but we couldn't get him because I think she warned him that, because I asked her, if he's there, don't leave the house and don't say nothing, just let him stay there. So we came up and he was gone. Yeah. So he wasn't there. So I've been looking for him for a while, but I couldn't find him. So because I wanted to confront him, in my mind, I was a little calmed down, but I wanted to confront him because let me tell you, I had a feeling that she was cheating, but I never thought in a million years that it would be him. Oh, somebody that's close to me. Yeah. And one day we was in the car. I remember like it was yesterday. We was going to Walmart, and we was in the car, and my cousin asked me, and I know he did on purpose. He said, "Aaron, what would you do if somebody cheat or mess with your wife, somebody close to you?" He in the back seat, like, I would never do that. I would never do that. That's crazy. And it made me think about that day. That dude lied in my face right there in the back of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what my rage came from, because he betrayed me. He knew better. If it was somebody else, yeah, I'd be upset. I probably it would have been, but this dude was right there close to me.
Yeah.
I never experienced that type of rage ever in my life. I mean, I've been cussed out. I've been called all kinds of names.
You know, there's a lot of guys out here that try to play that tough role. Like they be like, oh, I ain't never been hurt. All women's is hoes, and we just flip them through. A lot of these dudes been hurt, and a lot of these dudes, I believe every guy done been hurt at one time or point in their life, just like women. So, I can already tell there's gonna be dudes in the comment section talking about, oh, why you just didn't leave and you a sucker, you a simp and all this and that. But them are the same dudes that done been through what they did, what they done been through. And they want to put other cats on blast. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like I said, I grew up in Philly, and I've been in a lot of street fights, man. I've been out there selling drugs, hustling, but I was real humble with it. I wasn't loud. Yeah. I wasn't flashy. I was real humble. I'll tell you, like later on, I'll tell you what happened to my cousin, because me and him was my cousin. He was murdered because of the drug game, and that's something I can tell you later, because that made me stop hustling because of what happened to him.
Yeah, you
can actually find that story on Google. You can verify that. It happened years ago, but I think it might be still on there. But anyway, but I don't care what people think about it, because I was married, I loved her, and that really hurt me, man. It messed me up, because we'll get to that later. So after all that, she asked me, she had the nerve to ask me if we could start over. I didn't want to start over with that. I was done.
Yeah.
And the minute I got a chance, I immediately filed for divorce.
Okay.
So now this guy, he's bragging on Facebook about what he did, and I was soft. He took my wife, I'm not a real man and stuff like that. And when I see that, one of my homies called, he said, "Yo, Aaron, look on Facebook. Look on Facebook." So I look on there and I saw it, and I'm sitting there like, all right. So now I'm pissed off again. I've been trying to look for him. Now he left the house because he beat his wife and hurt her real bad, and then the police made him leave, so he had to find her place.
Yeah.
He didn't know where he was at, so I'm trying to look for him. I know he was somewhere in the area, but I didn't know.
Right.
I was at Acme in Smyrna, Delaware, because I had to go get the last remaining stuff out of the house in Delaware, in Smyrna. Yeah. So I went to Acme because I like their fried chicken, so I went to go get some chicken real quick, and I got some other items. I saw him in the parking lot because he was working on a house in that area, because I was doing it with him at the time, and I saw him. And I left all my stuff on the counter, and I went up to him, confront him, and he pushed me, and I just blacked out. Only thing I remember after that is that I'm getting cuffs on me going into the police car, to the Smyrna Police PD department. Okay. And midway as we traveling, now one of the cops I knew from the neighborhood, because they used to come around and they used to walk, go in the neighborhoods, get out the cars and walk, talking. It was like a real good community. And I knew one of them, so that it was him. There's another white cop. There was two other cars, but they're the ones that put me in the car. Yeah. And he asked me what happened. I told him what happened, and he stopped. He's like, "You kidding me?" And I told him what happened. He said, "I gotta take you in. I gotta arrest you." But he said, if it was up to me, he said, I would take you back over there and let you finish the job. And I was wondering why. I said, "Why you say that?" He said, "Because the same thing happened to me."
Yeah.
So, of course, he had arrested me. I seen the judge, and they sentenced me to go to. I had to go to anger management. I had to go to. They charged me with assault, so I had to go to anger management. Otherwise, I would have to do a year. But I went to anger management, and I had to prove that I went through it, and so I did. I had a certificate. I finished it. So, he started doing the same thing again. He started bragging back on Facebook. So this time I was at church, and I was leaving church, and I was going to the gas station down from the church, and I liked the buffalo wings, so I went down there and got some wings because I get some wings, and I was gonna head home. I saw his car pull up in the back, so he stayed in that apartment. It's like a little mini apartment complex adjacent to the gas station. So I hurried up, got in the car, and went over there because I wanted to see what house he go in. So I went in, I saw him going there. I went in the trunk. I would lift up the thing where you keep the spare tire at.
Yeah.
I went in there, got my 45 because I had a license to carry, so I was legal to carry. So I put the clip in there, and I didn't put it in the chain because I wasn't planning on shooting. I wasn't scared. I knocked on the door because first thing they do is look at the keyhole. I stood on the side. As soon as he opened the door, I rushed in there, tripped him, put the joint right in his mouth. I threatened him.
Wow.
And he could have reported it. But I'm told if he ever put anything on Facebook again about me, next time I come back, I was going to shoot him. He took it as a joke. He did the same thing again. This time I put my brother on him and his friends. And my cousins, they came up there, my brother beat him so bad, put him in the hospital for 2 months.
Now look, listen, we got to wrap it up. We're going to have to wrap it up right there because I got to run and do something right quick, but we're going to get back going tomorrow, okay? Hey, did you know that I do promotions now? I promote all social media channels such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I promote it. Also, I promote products and businesses also. So if you need promo, get in contact with me. All right, y'all, it's the fall season. Make sure y'all cop y'all military mind game merchandise. I got hoodies for you. I got shirts for you. I even got coffee mugs for you. Y'all see that hat? Y'all see that pillow? Make sure y'all cop y'all military mind game merchandise. I have the link pinned at the top of the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click this video. Until next time.